Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. And before we go any further, let me first ask you a question. As a trader, have you ever had one of these days where you're just looking around wondering what happened? Maybe it was a good day, maybe it was an average day, maybe it was kind of slightly bad day. But then when the dust settled, you're looking around saying, what just happened? Why do I have such a huge loss? What happened? Have you ever had one of those days? If you're saying, yeah, Clay, I don't really like to talk about it, but I've been there. And you know what? Don't feel bad about it. I've been there too. But if you're saying, yeah, Clay, I can relate to this, then the reason that I'm going to show you on why you should at least try a futures prop firm account, this would be reason number one. So that's what I'm all about here. Let's give you, if you were to say, Clay, give me one reason. Well, my one reason has a little contingency that you'd have to be able to relate to this scenario. So if you can relate, then I have no better argument other than what I'm about to present you as to why futures prop firm trading makes a whole lot of sense. Now, if you're not familiar, I do offer a private trading community at claytrader.com. And one of the great things about the community is people are transparent, people share things, and that's what we have here. So none of this is in theory. This is, unfortunately for this person, a real life event, but it does illustrate a great learning opportunity here. But once again, looking at the screen here, ask yourself, have you ever done any of these things? But this person says, I overtraded, revenge traded, entered with positions too big for me to handle. So if you can relate to any of those things, then again, this would be a really good reason as to why you should try the futures prop firms. But, well, what did all this stuff actually lead to? Well, this person says, okay, so I want to be transparent with the group, but I feel ashamed. And this like I'm going to brag. This is why our private community is so awesome, because even though people are ashamed, they're still being transparent with people. Yesterday I lost 39,000 and today I'm losing 24,000. Account went from 66,000 to 11,700, which is pretty crazy when you stop to think about it. And I can attest this person was putting up very big winners and this person was doing very well. And they were throwing up some great, great days, some $20,000 days. They were absolutely crushing it. But like a lot of other people, this person, like myself included, has a tendency every now and then to, well, just kind of lose their mind, have one of those, what just happened types of days. And then this is what resulted. But like I said, I want to get you to the solution to all of this and why you should try the prop firms. But the key numbers to look at here are 66,000 is what his account was at. He lost 39,000 and then he also lost 24,000. Honestly, I'm not sure what that number there has to do with anything because the numbers weren't jiving, but it's besides the point because those numbers in and of themselves, very, very rough. So what I want to do now is some napkin math. If we were to just find a napkin and then start to scribble down some numbers, what are these two scenarios that we're looking at? So the scenario that we just saw here, we saw that the person was up $66,000. And then we saw those losses. That first loss was at the $39,000 mark. And then they took another loss of $24,000. So you do the math there. And what did that come out to? Well, that person had $3,000 left over. So at least they're still green, but yeah, they gave back a whole lot of the gains. I don't think I really need to say that. I think the numbers on the napkin math there speak for themselves, but yeah, gave back a whole lot of room. Well, this is where prop firms now come into play. How could prop firms have not totally solved the problem, as you'll see here, because unfortunately, prop firms, you're still not going to have that 66,000. But as you're about to see, how could prop firms have really mitigated, have lessened the harm of one of these whoops type of days that this trader had? So let's first set up a little context with the prop firm, the one that I would recommend, the one that I use, and you'll see where these numbers are coming from. Now, very quickly, if you're not sure what a prop firm is, I'm going to nutshell this, like I said, very quickly. They allow you to put very little of your money at risk, and then if you can prove yourself as a trader, you have a whole lot of upside potential. So like I said, I'm going to keep it very brief. But again, if you go to the link that I'll put down in the description box, it will take you to this site here, and you can see all about how they work and all of, all those dynamics. So right there, how it works, it gives you a step-by-step sequence into everything. So you can go, like I said, and learn more of the details. But what I need to focus on and what we need to focus on is this right here. So the way it actually works is you go and you purchase buying power. So like I said, I'm going to keep it very surface deep, but you put money up to purchase an account. So, well, how much money? Well, in this situation, I'm just going to take everything to the extreme so we can, like I said, try to make these numbers as leveraged against us as possible. But in this situation, if you wanted to buy a $150,000 account, it would cost you 360. Now, on that note, make sure you use the link down below because that is a link that'll give you the best deal possible. So these are not the prices that I would say you should be paying. Wait for the deals. They come up very often. And again, if you use the link down below in the description box, that'll ensure you get the best deal possible, which will not be what you're looking at here. But again, in the spirit of just trying to make these numbers as leveraged against our, kind of our little scenario here as possible, I'm just going to not even factor in any sort of promotions or discounts or anything like that. So 360 is going to be the key dynamic here that we need to keep in mind moving forward as our first key number. So now let's start to go through the prop firm solution and how it, can help, like I said, mitigate and soften the blow. But again, we're starting off with that first number of $66,000. But then we do have some costs, right? We do have some quote unquote losses. And the first loss happens really before you ever make a trade because it is that $360 that was required to purchase the account in the first place. Now, I'm assuming you're aware, but these prop firms, that they're not charities, they are for-profit businesses. So yeah, they want their cut. They want a piece of the pie if you go and start crushing it. So we have that 360 amount, but then if we come down more, you can see the way that it works from when you get to the pro account or pro plus. But again, let's try to leverage this. Let's try to make the numbers as negative as possible against us. And I say that because if you're on the pro plus account, you would only have to give up 10% of your profits. But we'll just go to the pro account right here because in this say in prop firm jargon, this is called, the profit split. But right here, you would have to give up 20% of your gains. So that's just the give and take of it all. You don't get to keep all the money that you make. You do have to give some of it up. And in this situation, you'd have to give up 20%. So for our napkin math, 20% of that $66,000 comes out to be $13,200 that you would have to give up. But here we are now, and let's say that this is when the what just happened trade plays out. That day plays out where you lose your mind and you actually, in prop firm terminology, you blow up your account. You violate all the rules, you lose too much, and they're like, okay, you're done with the account. We're liquidating you. You are done. Now, when it's done, that just means that particular account. You can start up again. You can just go and purchase another account and you can begin the journey all over again. So that's where this second minus $360 is coming from, just under the assumption that you had that bad day and now you needed to start all over. So at that point, though, how much would that person still be up? Well, they'd still be up $52,080. Even with that profit split, if they were withdrawing money as they went, and then blew up and had to go purchase another account for the $360, they're still up over $50,000. And that is the power of a prop firm, is if you do have those days where you just lose your mind, you could protect your profits in the sense of your only money on the line is what you put into it in the first place, which as you went through the math was just that $360. And then, yes, again, the trade-off is you don't get to keep all your profits, but you see the math right here. Even factoring in that 80-20 profit split, this person, had they just done all this in a prop firm, would have come out so much further ahead. And I am happy to report that this person is now moved into a prop firm. They're enjoying themselves. And right away, they're like, oh, wow, this makes a whole lot of sense because it would have still been able to keep the majority of my profits. And then, yeah, sure, I would have lost the account and had to start over again. But wow, if starting, quote unquote, starting over again only requires $360, that's not bad at all. So yes, prop firms, if I was forced into one, now there are a lot of other good reasons. There's no pattern day trading rule. Markets are open pretty much around the clock. So there's a lot of schedule flexibility. But the number one reason would be what you're witnessing here. If you're somebody that has those what just happened type of days, then a prop firm would have done a very good job just based on the structure of them protecting any sort of gains that you would have had along the way, which, as you saw here, this person would have stayed quite a bit far ahead. Now, maybe you're saying, Clay, that's great. Wow, that's actually really cool and impressive, but I don't know anything about futures at all. Totally fine. I do offer a totally free 4-part series. I'll put a link down below and you can go start to learn about futures and build a foundation of how the markets are working and all of that. They're actually very straightforward. And if you already know how to trade, stocks and stuff like that, then like I said, sure, there's little differences here that this class will clear up for you. But please don't let well, I don't know futures, therefore this whole thing doesn't work for me. No, no, no. You can learn futures and you can learn in a free way, like I said, by using this class here. And then finally, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you're looking for, how to approach the markets, how you should be using tools, how you should not be using certain tools, then I'd highly recommend and encourage you to get signed up for this free live class, because I've noticed over my years of coaching that a lot of people think they know how certain things work. And to be fair, they know how things work to an extent, but it's a partial understanding. And you've got to have a complete understanding. So sometimes people just need a little bit of a restructuring within their approach, their mindset towards things, and that'll put them in a much better spot. So this class will go over that and much more, and ideally put you in a framework of a position that's going to allow you to have a much better chance at success. So I'll put a link down below so you can go learn when the next class is, or if you just go to claytrader.com/live, that will also help you out with the class. So again, if you want to use the prop firms, the one that I'm using, make sure you use the link down below so you can get the best deal possible. Make sure you learn about futures if you don't know, and then definitely go get signed up for this free class. And then finally, if you enjoy these videos and you want to support the channel in a super free and easy way, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. So yes, the number one reason to give futures prop firm trading a try, what you just witnessed here, it can sure save you a whole lot of money within the big picture.